Prominent Islamic cleric Sheikh GUMI has declared that bandits currently troubling the northern part of Nigeria are going nowhere. According to GUMI, in a post on his known Facebook page on Monday morning titled Zamfara, the flaring of crisis, military action against criminal headsmen and bandits will not solve the security challenge but will only worsen the situation. The controversial Islamic preacher was reacting to the recent perceived military success over bandits at Zamfara forest. In a statement, every time they kindle the fire of war, Allah doth extinguish it, but they ever strive to do mischief on earth, and Allah loveth not those who do mischief. Zamfara state is unique in many aspects. In early 2000 AD, the state ignited a wildfire of state's constitutional amendments that accommodated the application of Sharia law beyond personal law, that is, marriages, divorce, and inheritance, to include Islamic criminal law. It was well received by the local populace, with 11 other northern states adopting it. However, it goes without saying that the international community, ruled by leaders that are promoting sodomy and lesbianism in the garment of secularism, were at the forefront of fighting it. In a short time, it became political and fizzled away. If such Sharia implementation move had concentrated in literacy and economic empowerment, the kind of which we see in Saudi Arabia with its rich resources, Zamfara would have become a shining example of the blend of a religiously modern state, proud of its development and modesty. Unfortunately, it turned out to become the den of criminality and instability in the region. From the blues, in 2009, cattle rustling became rampant. Most of the cattle rustled were headed to the south in trailers where they are sold and slaughtered. This massive movement of rustled cattle greatly reduced their population. Most of the rustling first affected the rural herdsmen, and it became more elaborate in the northwestern region. Herdsmen were left with only one of the three options: to join the rustler or pay tribute to rustlers for protection or lose their cattle. In 2014, the military intervention in Gwari forest to fight cattle rustling changed the herdsman into a resistance movement, as many innocent Fulani Ruga settlements were murdered, men, women, and children in hundreds. By 2015, banditry had replaced cattle rearing. That is becoming nearly impossible. Drugs were introduced into the herdsmen that are known to be illiterate or semi-illiterate. The reaction of the town local vigilante, a natural reaction by any communal aggression in self-defense, pitched the herdsman against the local rural herdsmen, villagers, and adjacent town to the forest, as they are lynched and maimed wherever they enter markets. Therefore, everybody became an enemy and a target. Fulanis and other tribes, Muslim and non-Muslim, were equally kidnapped for a ransom, most of which goes to buying weapons. Profiling of Fulani herdsmen became another motivating factor of more resistance and more kidnappings, which has now led to their metamorphosis into the monster the nation is facing today. We should also know that because of their educational status and lack of effective, unified leadership, they have faced untold hardship at the hands of authorities where they were extorted and stereotyped. It has been imprinted in the psyche of nomadic pastoralists that the authorities and their town dwellers are evil people, that they should be resisted because they have no place to secure justice for their cases, no matter how innocent they may be. With the acquisition of weapons, they realized how easy it became to be master of their abode, the forest, where no authority can venture into. This has emboldened them to further attack people for more ransom to sustain their newfound reality. Now, with the prodding of the government to take more military actions of an already ugly situation whereby they were left to amass weapons, a huge military budget that is almost draining the economy to a standstill in the purchase of fighter aircraft and conducting military operations in the region has become, to the authorities in their calculations, a necessity. Unfortunately, this is no solution or wisdom. When you don't have the monopoly of the instrument of violence, then dialogue has the monopoly of resolving the conflict. This is what the UN is all about. That is roundtable resolution of conflict. What we are seeing is more than just criminals and criminality. Yes, it may have started as such, but like any conflict, it is dynamic. The danger we face now is ideological damages, changing the narrative. They are trying hard to infiltrate the headsmen, and we know their objectives. They want to destroy all modern governments by fighting the military, and now is the recent cajoling of local populations they have tormented before to join them in the struggle. Let us face the reality. These headsmen are going nowhere, and they are already in battle gear, and we know our military very well. So before things get messy, we need cold brains to handle the delicate situation. It's common sense that if you allow your neighbors to be your enemy, you are already conquered, because they can easily be used against you by other forces. As we see now, the headsmen are ultimately used to destabilize the region and even depopulate it. Military actions in the past have worsened the situation, stimulating headsmen resistance, and any more action will push them closer to religious fanaticism. It gives them protection from discrediting them as thieves, and also reinforce their mobilization of gullible young unemployed youth, as we saw with Boko Haram. I've met many of the bandits leaders to see a way out of this gridlock. I've talked to the political class and security agents. Except for the exception, most state governors want a peaceful resolution of the conflict. The police and other security outfits have also realized the enormity of the problem, but unfortunately the presidency, for what appears to be political gullibility, and the military of budgetary reasons, as they are the most beneficiary of the conflict of this nature, doesn't seem to be on the same page. This conflict can be resolved by active engagement of the government with the agitators, just as we saw how NSAS agitation was swiftly managed after the initial scandalous failed military confrontation was peacefully resolved by the government. Likewise, the herdsmen crisis can be. Just as we had the Niger Delta conflict resolved with an amnesty, which comes with reconciliation, reparation, and rehabilitation packages, so will the herdsmen crisis be resolved. In fact, there is need for a Marshall Plan to educate the nomadic pastoralists to that no citizen is left behind. These measures are enumerated are cheaper, easier, and lasting than the kinetic approach which is now taking place. No military, especially of a poor economic, can win guerrilla warfare. The recent victory of the Taliban in Afghanistan is a factual warning for those that contemplate. Lastly, I pay tribute to my late relative, Sanusi Salisu Gumi, who lost his life with 10 other colleagues in an ambush by bandits in Zamfara forest in November 2019. We learned about his death when an acquaintance recognized his body in the Guswa mortuary. Sheikh Gumi has just released this statement that bandits are going nowhere. Very surprising. Well, my people, he said a lot, but it's very shocking and very surprising. Let's hear what you think down below in the comment section. Thank you once again for staying tuned. Please don't forget to like, share, and to subscribe till I come your way again on more updates. Bye.